Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. Welcome to the ItCast. I'm your host, Nika Cherrelles. The ItCast is our community outreach podcast that aims to increase diversity in conversations on health and sexuality. Through this work, we are creating a world where all people feel loved, honored, and respected. Join us this October for our Global Sexual Health and Freedom Summit. We are creating a safe space where all people come together. We will embrace humanity, diversity, and the liberation of sexual health globally. Come experience the empowerment, freedom, and ownership of sacred sexuality. We have tickets on Eventbrite, and DM me if you would like a link. So also please visit us on Patreon and support the ItCast and learn more about our work at theitcast.com. And subscribe to this channel. This week's topic is Real Talk on Love. And calling into the studio today, we have Daniel Levels and his wife, Soul, wife of 11 years. Daniel, Soul, please join us in the conversation.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello.
Hi. How are y'all doing today?
I'm wonderful. And yourself?
Fantastic. So before we dive in, I'd like to give each of you a chance to share a little bit about yourself and what brought you to the show.
I'm Daniel Levels. I am a serial monogamist, as my sister describes it. This is my second marriage. It's lasted 11 years, and we're doing the best we can while we can.
Beautiful. So?
I am Soul Levels, Daniel's wife of 11 years. I'm a mother of 3, a grandmother of 4, and stepmom of 2, and a step-grandmother of 1. And, well, like he said, we're doing the best we can while we can.
Yeah, that's real. Relationships are a myriad of experiences, and you hold on to each other. So I want to get into the conversation, and Daniel, I want to thank you for posing this question. Is love an action or an emotion? I would love to get your feedback on that.
I feel it's a bit of both. You can totally be head over heels infatuated with somebody or think that you're in love and love their dirty draws, but still be toxic and treat them like you don't love them.
Yeah.
For example, like a dysfunctional relationship or some crackheads. I remember Billy, and I don't remember his wife's name, but they used to chase each other down the street with axes and stuff. But you couldn't mess with either one of them, but they kill each other before you could kill one of them.
Yeah, that's intense. That's really intense. And what I'm getting from what you're saying is like love without kind actions takes away from the power of the connection, the experience. It's like, is that even really love without the actions?
Right. The action or what defines the emotion.
Interesting. All right. So what's your take?
I want to say it's a little bit of both also. Everybody loves in different ways, so some may show it, some may say it. Not everybody's gonna love anybody the same because everybody's perception or idea or definition of love is different, everybody. So one might do it by just helping somebody out. That's a way they show their love. And one might do it by just telling somebody they love them. But it doesn't mean it's not love. It's just everybody's different when it comes to love. So I think you can show it It can be an action. It could be a feeling. Like if you lose somebody, that's more of a feeling that you lost somebody you love, and you know that you love them because you're hurting, you're sad, or else you wouldn't be sad if there was no love there. Um, and then as far as showing or the actions, I mean, you can simply just clean a house or make somebody dinner or just hug them or hold their hand or give them a kiss and show them that you love them in that way.
That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
so it's a little bit of both.
What was that last part?
I said I'm gonna say it's a little bit of both.
Yes, I totally got that. When you asked this question, it took me a minute of sitting with it. And what came up for me is that love is action based on emotion. So, like, there is the emotion of love, and taking the actions around it is what builds the connection in the relationship. So, I absolutely agree that it's both. And there's something powerful about the acting on love, So, I just wanted to throw that in there. And one of the other questions that I have is, what do you think motivates us to act on the emotion of love, or to actually act on it?
What motivates us to act on love?
Yeah.
How we feel about the person determines how we treat the person, correct?
I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, I
Oh,
think you can love somebody and treat them poorly.
Yeah, I just said that, but I was saying, like, there's different types of love. Like, you love your children one way, you love your spouse another way, you love your parents another way. But love is love, like, and you don't usually see, people don't usually, like, treat their family bad because they love their family.
Mm-hmm.
But then you can be in a marriage and treat your family totally horrible and still claim to love them, but then I don't know if that's real love or not, though.
Yeah.
You said how do you act? Repeat the question. You said how do you act?
Oh, what motivates us to act on love?
I think it's more of a sense of you've done something good for someone, or I don't know how to explain it. It's like you want to make the other person feel loved. So your actions, it's like, I don't even know how to really word it.
Are you describing like a sense of duty?
It's not a duty.
No. And I think I get it.
Duty.
I think I get what you're saying. So, what I'm hearing is generosity. And
yeah, it's like more like you enjoy doing something for someone else because you know it's going to make them feel good.
Yeah, it's like giving a gift.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That's so beautiful. It never even clicked for me that way, and almost made me cry. Daniel, I want to point out, and I love that you brought up the fact that love is beyond just your partner relationship. It permeates, and it actually goes through, friends, family, children. Like, you can have love and different experiences of love with all these different people. So thank you for really bringing that in.
You're welcome.
So yeah, I love I love that, like that gift, that generosity part. One of the things I forgot to point out is that it is Pleasure Your Mate Month. Started yesterday for the month of September, and that's part of why we're having the conversation on love. So one of the things that I wanted to ask as well is, what kinds of things do you do to show affection? So like for each of you, and I'd love to also some suggestions possibly.
Um, I like a lot of kissing and hugs. Um, just saying I love you, just even just a touch, you know, just somebody touching your face or your hand. Those are all ways that I see that someone really cares about you, and knows that you're there and saying, hey, I see you. I know you're here and I love you. And you don't really have to use words all the time, you know, you just show the person.
Yeah. Daniel, do you have any responses?
I like the part about touch, like holding hands is something I find very intimate. You don't want to hold somebody's hand if you don't like them. If you hold hands and look into each other's eyes, you know that builds the intimacy between y'all. If y'all do that on a regular and make that a habit, just holding hands and like looking into each other's eyes like sets the foundation for communication.
Mm. So we have some questions coming in. The first one is, what was the moment that you knew you loved the other person?
Uh, I was like completely. My wife found me on MySpace, so I didn't believe she was real when she first messaged me. I was like, this could be anybody catfishing me or whatever, and like I talked to her on my mom's birthday, December 23rd, 2009. For about 2 hours, I was begging her to give me her address because she told me she was in San Antonio. So I came to see her, and so I guess it was from that moment there, you know what I'm saying, I was completely infatuated with my wife.
Yes.
What was it for you?
That's a hard one because we kind of moved really, really quick in the beginning. And I think in the beginning, it was all fun and um, exciting. I don't think that the love was there yet. It was just excitement of being with somebody new and getting to know this person. We had no idea who we were or anything about each other. We just like jumped into it. Um, I think after our first argument and how I felt after arguing, I think that's when I realized that I really did love him. Because I was hurt and I didn't want to lose him. So I think that's when it happened for me to really feel like, oh gosh, I really love this person. It's not just um, like a little fling or anything, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it took a while though. It wasn't like right away. Um, even because we got married after 6 months, we were together, like talking and together, actually living together. Because he moved in like a month after we met or
It
something. I don't
wasn't a
remember.
month, it was like 10 days after we met.
Yeah. But it kind of happened quick. But yeah, I think after like we actually had an argument and it was like, okay, we're not going to be together. That's when I felt how much I really, really loved him and cared about him. So it's kind of strange, but I don't think it happens like that for everybody. But that's kind of
Yeah.
how it
I
happened.
mean, That's actually, I actually love that you brought that up, because the fear of losing someone, like that's one of the ways to know that love is present. One of the replies you got is, "Wow, soul, I've never heard it like that after an argument." I think that there is, like, for me, I'm like, that's really landing, that that is something that happens in relationships, and it is a marker to let us know how we feel. Um,
Yeah.
and like all couples have arguments. Like, I think that that's something that like if you're fighting a lot, if you're arguing a lot, people tend to think that that maybe they shouldn't be in that relationship. And what I've really experienced is you're working stuff out. You're learning how to be with the other person, they're learning how to be with you.
And sometimes it's just learning how to be with yourself, because like when you get into a relationship, you think you know yourself. Um, but a lot of times when somebody first meets somebody else, they don't really act like themselves, I think. And then once you're in that relationship, the real person starts coming out. So you're kind of learning about your own self and being in a relationship, because you know yourself, like when you're alone, how you are and who you are. But once you're in that relationship, it's like you're a different person. So I think a lot of it is just getting to know who you are in the relationship, or what your part is in this relationship, and what you want to do in the relationship. So it's a struggle. I'm not going to say it's easy. It's a struggle because I struggle with myself all the time. I fight with myself, trying to figure out what's my place here. I don't like. I'll tell you one word I hate. It's submit. I can't stand that word. And when I got in a relationship and I was told you have to submit to me, that's a really big turnoff. And it's not something I'm willing to do. I don't submit to anybody. I want to be your partner, but I'm not going to submit, And I don't know. I think that word means a lot of things to a lot of people. It may be different. It's just from the way I was raised and what I heard and what I saw. It's not something that I'm willing to do.
Submitting is respectful cooperation.
Repeat that.
Submitting is just respectful cooperation.
Say more.
Well, I'm a big Kevin Samuels fan, and like I was watching the Kevin Samuels video, and he was talking about how submitting is a bad word to women, to modern women, and they basically described it as I did. Submitting is respectful cooperation.
So I hear that. And my question for you is, does submission go both ways?
Yes, husbands submit to their wives and wives submit to their husbands.
And wives to wives, husbands to husbands, non-gender binary, non-binary, all that jazz. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree when you use it like that, when you say it goes both ways. But if it's just one way, I feel like that's not going to work. It has to. If it goes both ways, yes, I agree. If it's coming one way, then I'm like, no, that's not happening.
Yes, I totally got that. Never mind. When it pops back up, I'll circle back to it. There was something else powerful that you said. So we have another question. This is for Daniel. What was different about Soul from your other relationships?
Well, me and my wife are both bipolar, and I think the thing that attracted me to her the most out of everything was her manic energy, because we were both like really manic when we ran into each other, and that lasted for months. And it's like it's lasted for years because my wife still has that same energy. Like I call her my superwoman because it's like nothing can stop her when she has a goal set. And I just recognized that in her, like from the beginning, like her energy was so powerful. I was like, I don't know, I was just enthralled with her. Like I was overwhelmed. Like this is what it is, and it don't get no better than this. So I don't know. Like from the very beginning, I was just like in awe.
Mm.
The type of woman she was.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So would you like to answer that question as well? What's different about Daniel?
When I met him, honestly, I just thought he was typical man, because I guess I don't want to say hate for men, but I've been in so many bad situations that I wasn't all the way trusting,
Mm-hmm.
but he was really different than a lot of the men that I had met. He has a really big heart. I mean, he could be stubborn and he could be a hard person to deal with, but like you said, we both have the same diagnosis, and we didn't know that when we met until a little after, when we started talking and telling each other about our life and stuff. And I think that is what brought us together, really, to kind of to help each other. He's changed my life in a lot of ways. I've grown a lot through this relationship, through this marriage. And there's still a lot to work on, but I have learned a lot about myself and who I am or who I'm supposed to be. So there was just this connection that we had, and well, I was really attracted. I'm still attracted to him, but I was like, that was one of the things. It was the attraction, but his mind too, and his heart. And even though he does things like a lot of typical men do, but he's different in a lot of ways. He does love hard, and I appreciate that about him. So, yeah, I guess it was more finding out who the real Daniel is,
Yeah,
not who I just thought he was.
that's so beautiful. And I recall what I wanted to acknowledge earlier. So you brought up the infatuation and how, like, at the beginning, there's all this fun energy and all this like happiness and excitement, and love evolves through that. Like that part is the easy part, and then you get to grow together. Um, and continue growing, and that's what I heard in your share. I think that's really beautiful, and I think it's important for us to be present to that, because I'll be honest, I have thrown away love before, and it comes from not getting that there are times when it's going to be more challenging than others. Um, so one of the things that you were saying actually leads me into the next question from our listeners. Who are you today that's different than who you were when you met your partner?
Well, for me, I'm a lot more mature. I'm a lot more settled. I'm financially secure. When I met my wife, I was still living with my mom. Uh, she pretty much upgraded my life. I'm totally different now than I was then. Like the things that I stand for are different. The things that I stand on are different. I'd say I'm much stronger now than I was then. I'm much more patient, much more tolerant. Um, my life is pretty much together now, and it took all of the 11 years we've been married to get to the place I'm at now.
Yeah. So,
Can you repeat the question? My
yeah,
mind goes everywhere. I'm sorry.
how are you different today than you were when you met Daniel?
Well, I changed a lot of my ways. I enjoy being in a relationship. I was single for a very long time, and so it was just from, it wasn't even relationships because this is my second marriage, and prior to this marriage, I had a boyfriend for a while, and then that was it. This is my third actual relationship, and I didn't think it was possible for me to be in another relationship, honestly, just because of all the hurt I've been through and all the situations. But I would say it's changed me because I know that I could love a man. I love my husband with all my heart in my life, and I didn't think that was possible after everything I had been through. So it's made me a lot more loving towards my husband and trying to see or know what it is to be with someone for as long as we've been together through all the ups and downs. It's just been a challenge, but yet I appreciate everything, the good and the bad, because that's how I learn through life. It's not going to always be pretty, but just knowing that this is the person that I want to be with for the rest of my life, it feels good to know that and to keep trying and keep moving forward. So I guess the change is my heart and giving someone a chance to be in my life and to go through all the challenges, no matter what they are, and still stay with that person, with my husband, no matter what happens or what we go through. And it's just the emotions, and I become a lot stronger, smarter. Um, he's helped me with my disability, my mental disability. He keeps me strong, keeps me motivated to keep moving forward through this relationship. There's times where it's just like, oh, can't go no more, but I look at him and I'm like, no, I really love him and I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to give up. So it has made me a very strong person.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Iron sharpens iron. My baby's resilient.
Resilience. Yes. Um, that's really powerful. Um, one of the so what I was gonna say is like, the changes in your heart, and that's really beautiful. Um, speaking about relationships and not really knowing or trusting that like it's going to work, or coming from trauma or hurt or things in the past. I want to talk a little bit about withholding love, um, and like what that looks like and what that can lead to. I'll start. um, so looking at like withholding love, one of the things that came to my mind was insecurities. and fear, and how when those are present, it's like love isn't present, and that can impact the experience of love and the receptivity of love. Um, so like you were saying earlier, Soul, about like love being a gift, like generosity, and what happens when that gift isn't given or isn't received. Um, so, oh, I'd love to get your take on that. And go ahead.
I'm guilty of withholding love. Like, the place where I go is like I get angry, and even though I love my wife, I just won't interact with her or engage in a conversation or anything because I'm already like trying to calm myself. And that's where I see myself withholding love all the time, because love, like I said, it's not just how you feel, it's an action, it's how you treat the person that you with. And that's how I see myself withhold love sometimes when I'm angry.
Yeah. Thank you for that. That's big. Um, Soul, did you want to say anything on that?
I guess the biggest thing would be the fear of getting hurt, because nobody wants to be hurt. So you got to know, I guess with me, if I have a fear, I just go back to the love part and be like, okay, well, even though I'm fearful of this or that happening, the love is there and that's stronger than anything. So I'm going to focus on that instead of that fear. And it might come and go, but the love always seems to win and bring back the positive thoughts instead of all those negative thoughts or feelings or the fear. So I try not to think about the fear so much. And if it comes to my mind, I start thinking about all the good things.
Try not to dwell in the fear.
Or just, it's the feeling like once you're starting to feel that way, I change my thoughts and think about all the positive things and the beautiful things about being with somebody, or being with the person that you love, because it's bigger than anything. And I feel like as long as you love that person, you're going to make it through anything, and that fear will go away.
Yeah. That hit me so spot on when you elaborated on the fear aspect. I think for myself, that's one of the things where it's like fear of rejection, fear of so many things that have me push away allowing love in. And it's so easy to do. It's like I'm defensive, I'm scared, and like the world is a scary place, or something to that effect. And so not letting the love be received, that is dwelling in the fear. That is perpetuating this narrative that love isn't present in every moment, love isn't out there. um yeah, thank you for dancing in that one with me, because I think withholding love is such an important conversation for us to shift. Let me see. So we have a few comments on the submission. Uh, Gail Diamond said, yes, it goes both ways. And we have a comment, learning about yourself. That is the most important part of a relationship. Um, Thank you for putting those in. Um, so one of the other questions we have is, what do you think other young people need to know about how to stay in a relationship?
Uh, quitting is not an option. Like, you can't give up. When there's love, your heart won't let you. Um, I don't know. I kind of look at relationships like roller coasters. If there's no big drops and loops and all that good stuff, it's not gonna be as fun as the ones that have all the all the big bells and whistles. Like, life's like a roller coaster. Relationships are like a roller coaster. Without ups and downs, it's just gonna be pretty mundane and plain. That's my input for the young people.
Roller coaster. Get ready for it.
You
What are
know,
your
you get excited when you're about to get on a roller coaster, so you be excited about your life.
I like that. I like that. So, do you have anything to say?
Um, Honestly, I don't like to give advice to anybody about relationships because um, our relationship is not perfect by any means. It's a challenge. So if you're going to get into a relationship, make sure that it's something that you really want to do. Don't do it because you're fearful to be alone or um, you think there's not going to be anybody else out there for you. Do it because it's what you really want to do and you feel it in your heart that this is the person you want to be with. I see so many relationships falling apart all the time, and a lot of times people get into a relationship thinking that this is the one for them, and then they realize that it may not be, but you have to be true to yourself and really figure out, is this, do I truly love this person enough to go through all the motions with them, the ups and the downs. Like he said, it's a roller coaster. So you got to be willing to fall all the way down sometimes and then get back up together. So, but every relationship's going to be different. I just say be true to yourself if you're going to be in a relationship.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I appreciate that you gave that advice. Not getting into a relationship like with that, like to check to see if you love that person, like is that present. One of the mistakes that I made when I was still a kid in the brain was I used to think that just because I slept with someone or had an intimate moment with someone that we were supposed to be together forever. And I got how little sense that actually made long after like these different dating experiences. It was like, you're my person. I have to be with you. Um, and I think that definitely came out of my upbringing and this conversation around like monogamy uh, and like being with one person so you can't like necessarily make mistakes or something to that effect. So I love what you were saying about how like really see if you're in love with this person, like not infatuated, not just turned on, like really in love and ready to commit, willing to commit.
Yeah, and make sure it's not just temporary for you either, because you know divorce is really big now. It's crazy. Relationships don't last very long. So make sure that if you're in it for the long haul. If that's what you want. If you're not ready for a relationship, then don't get into it because someone's gonna get hurt, and that's not good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's real. We put our hearts on the line. Is there anything else you want to say about love?
Love is a wonderful thing.
I'll say love keeps you strong.
I love those. And one of the things that just occurred for me is how love, um, for me, when I experience love, it's very generative. It's that thing that gives me energy and lifts me up and allows me to do all the things that I wouldn't necessarily feel capable of doing without love being present. Love for myself and the love I have for others and the love that I receive from others. So I love that. It's a beautiful thing and it makes you stronger. Um, Beautiful. So, um, the last question that we have is, do you think having children has enhanced your love for each other?
We don't have children together. She had three when I married her. I had two. Um, in my son's relationship, I'm not sure, but I think that they both love their child more than each other, is what they've expressed to me. Like they loved each other in the beginning, it was just them, but once the child came, their love shifted from each other to their child, and that makes their love for each other stronger. But their child is the center of their universe.
Mm, I got that. I got that. Um, yeah, and then before we wrap, is there anything else for you, Soul, on that question or anything?
I don't know that having a child with someone will make you love that person more, honestly. Like you said, we don't have children together. He has two from his previous marriage, and I have three from my previous relationships. Um, so I don't know that necessarily that our love would have been different if we had a child together or not. I think it would have been still the same kind of love that we have for each other. A lot of people do. I notice a lot of people try to stay in relationships because they have children, but that doesn't always work because the love for each other has to be real. It's not, let's just stay together because the child's here. It's not, that doesn't work all the time. So, like I said, it has to be genuine and you have to really love each other. So I don't know. We don't have children together. We have our children from previous relationships. So that's a little hard to say how if it would have changed how we are together or the love we have for each other. I don't know. We didn't go through that, so it's a little hard. But I don't feel that it would have changed too much, honestly.
Yeah, I hear that the bond has to be there and be strong between the two of you. And that also impacts how you raise a child. Some relationships, there's a child that happens and the couple cannot be together, um, for a multitude of reasons. And I'm hearing that, like, as long as that bond's there, then it's um, it's it's going to be what it is. Like the love is deep, um, and it may shift, but it's like it becomes the family unit versus, well, I don't know. They're both family units. But what I'm hearing is that it having a child together may or may not shift the relationship. It may shift the direction of the love. Um, Awesome. All right. Well, thank you both for being on the show today. I have a lot of gratitude for all of your answers and your honesty. And thank you for really creating this conversation.
You're very welcome.
And thank you for having us.
Yes. All right, everyone out there, thank you for joining us today. The ItCast is our community outreach podcast that aims to increase diversity in conversations on health and sexuality. Through this work, we are creating a world where all people feel loved, honored, and respected. Check out our Global Sexual Health and Freedom Summit this October. We are creating this to make a safe space where all people come together. We are going to embrace humanity, diversity, and the liberation of sexual health globally. So come experience freedom, empowerment, and ownership of your sacred sexuality. Visit us on Patreon to support the ItCast and learn more at theitcast.com and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you so much, and we will see you here next week.